Hello and welcome to another edition of my Become Unstoppable series. And as always, I have an amazing guest for you. I have the lovely Chris. Would you like to introduce yourself, my love?
Hello all, my name is Chris Lampitt. I am a health and wellness specialist and I also provide insurance to help people protect their families and business.
Amazing. And we'll find out a little bit more about that in a moment. And those who don't know me, I'm Julie Fitzpatrick. I'm the founder of Millieside Therapy and Coaching. And I just help people really to go from stuck to unstoppable. So if you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, or suffering from any physical, psychological conditions, come and see me. And I work with the subconscious mind. So we don't muck about. We go deep dive in, and we fix the root problem so that you can become unstoppable too. So, Chris, before I forget, as some people know that I do this sometimes, can you tell me, what does being unstoppable mean to you?
The phrase being unstoppable to me means that you are someone who really wants to do well, be well, and you have a correct mindset to carry on when times are tough.
Nice. And is that through experience that you come up with that?
I think so. All of us have had difficult times. I think just words. And at that point, you need the mindset to try and get yourself out of it and find the unstoppableness in you. I don't know if that's even a word, but there we go.
I always create new words. Is that a word? I go, well, it is now. I don't care. Yeah, it's very true. And we'll get to your story in a moment. But it is very true that if we want to kind of make changes in our lives, we can't just sit there doing nothing, can we? We need to actually take action, and action takers like ourselves. Then you can start finding your true love of life. What is it? What's your purpose and passion? What is it that makes you tick? And find that.
I mean, for me, I'm very much into health and well-being. I thought I've got a background in banking, etc. for 12 odd years, about 7 years ago. I know, since I was 23. But at that point in time, the industry that I was in of banking, there was no interest really in health and well-being. I was working 12-hour days. It was dark when I got there in the winter, dark when I got home. That does, in a way, have an effect on your mental health. But overall, there was a point where I just thought this isn't the correct path for me. I mainly did it because of the money. But at the end of the day, sometimes the money isn't enough to pursue something that you love.
Yeah, I totally resonate with that because I spent 35 years in the corporate world myself. Most of them, I mean, back in the day, I think it was fun because I started in the corporate world when I was 16. So it was a very different world back then. And I was out a lot having fun and stuff like that, but used to drink in the office. People smoked in the office, actually. That's how long ago it was. But not that was nice, but it was a whole different world. It was a whole different culture. And then as I got towards the end of what turned out to be my career, I just wasn't enjoying it at all. And it triggers you as well. Did you ever find that it like really triggered you? Because when you like you say, you're working the 12-hour days, whatever you're doing just didn't ever seem to be enough. And you know, you could do 20 brilliant things, but the one thing you didn't do would be the thing you'd be hauled over the coals for.
You're not wrong there. So basically, I don't smoke. So I used to have my own cigarette break to get away from the screen. So it's like everyone used to go smoke 2, 3, 4 times a day. And I think, hang on a minute, I'm stuck at the screen for 12 hours. I'm going to have my own cigarette break. So it's quite weird, actually, because they knew I didn't smoke. So they'd always say to me, why are you away from your... Not directly, but they say, like, I've been away from my desk for a while. And I'm thinking, well, I can't... I'm quite an active person anyway. So even when I go to these network meetings, etc., and I have to sit down for 2 or 3 hours, I'm not sitting down for 2-3 hours. I just can't do it. So yeah, it had a massive negative effect on me. And when a certain incident did happen, I just thought this isn't for me anymore.
So when you decided then that this incident happened, how did you end up doing what you're doing then? So just tell us a little bit more now about what it is you're actually doing, and then just go back a little bit and just tell us what happened and what was the ups and downs that you had to go through to get to where you are now.
Okay, I'm pretty easy to start the incident, as I keep calling it. So basically, I was working in banking, and I got a call from my mother saying my father wasn't very well. This was like during the middle of the day. So I asked them if I could leave work, and they said I couldn't leave work. So my dad had cancer, so it's quite something major, really, and they wouldn't let me leave work. And at first, I was just sitting there thinking, "Are you sure?" I didn't actually tell him what it was, but I just said obviously my father's not very well. And from that point on, I just thought to myself, "No, this environment isn't for me." So also at the time, I was into health and wellness and fitness and stuff like that. As a 20-year-old, you think you're fit and healthy anyway. Like you were saying earlier, you go out at lunchtime, have a drink, come back, get on with the work, etc. So at that time, I was doing a network marketing nutritional company. I was doing that because from that point, it just switched. Everything just changed about my thought about being healthy, and what I was doing about drinking and all that kind of stuff. I didn't obviously completely cut down, but I just switched. I thought this isn't for me. So I started doing that with a network marketing company. It taught me to learn about food, learn about nutrition, learn about health, learn about mental health. I don't know, it just switched the switch in me. And obviously to try and fast forward it so I don't go back, I did that for a while. I gave up banking. Through this network marketing company, I met someone. Not met someone like that. Met a friend.
Not a relationship.
Now we've got 10 kids, and so I met someone, and they suggested that because obviously my banking wage was not, the network marketing wage was not covering my bank wage by a mile. Then they said to me, "Do I want to try offering insurance that has health benefits? So you get free memberships and gym memberships and money." And I said, "Yeah, I'll do that." And then obviously this is how I've come to sell insurance through this company as a job. But while I was still in that network marketing company, my friend took his own life.
Oh wow!
The friend so the career path that I went down now is due to him. Obviously, there was the incident with my father, which is now one. I wouldn't say obsessed. People would say I'm obsessed, but not as obsessed as I used to be on health. And now the insurance that I sell has the financial background that I've got, as well as the health and wellness part of it. So that's how I've come to this place now.
So what's your Fit 2020 then?
So Fit 2020 initially was a brand where I was just helping people with fitness advice, posts online. All the stuff was free. All the information I was given was free. Because I wanted to help educate people on health and well-being. And now I'm going to be using a different brand, but under that brand, to provide a subscription-based business.
Oh, wow. So what sort of help have you needed to get where you are right now then? Have you done this on yourself, or have you invested in yourself?
So as you know, we've both had mentoring. I do continue to get mentoring, but I do it from lots of other avenues as well now. And for me, as you know, because we know each other quite personally, I do like to be part of a community of people. So So I've invested in mentoring, but now it's a bit more specific on what I want to do rather than general. So I'm trying to look after what I spend more on what is needed to succeed.
Yeah, because the power of investing ourselves is super powerful, isn't it? And I talk about this a lot because I wouldn't be where I am now without invested in my personal development. So I've been working, I still do. I mean, part of a group called Rise and Shine Academy, where I'm still working on myself, but also learning tools and techniques to really empower the work I do with my clients as well. But I did my NLP, rapid transformational therapy, lots of hypnotherapy, just really, really trying to build my skills up so that when I work with my clients, it's phenomenal. And the results they get, they are truly unstoppable. And I'm not just saying that because that's my tagline, but what you can do, the more I learn, and I'm sure it's the same with you, the more I learn, the more even I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know that. And I've just almost finished now my group, creating my group program, which I'm really, really proud of. But it's all about getting people, I say back to basics, but some people have never been back to basics, right? So some people don't even know this stuff, but the power of working on yourself, your self-care, taking time out for yourself, because everybody's too busy being busy, right? Especially parents and stuff, working parents, especially when you're juggling your kids, your job, your family, everything. We're normally the last people that you actually work on, right?
Definitely.
Now, I found a lot that people will invest their money maybe in business training or maybe even a gym membership, right? Doesn't mean they go to the gym, mind you, but they'll be quite happy spending that money every month. But actually, when it comes to investing on their personal development, it's like a brick wall, right? Why? Because they feel guilty about spending money on themselves. But why do they do that? Because if they don't look after themselves, there's no way they can be the best person they need to be. And I always like to use the plane analogy, like when the mask comes down, put your mask on first before you can help other people. But we don't.
No.
So this is the message I'm trying to get across to at the moment. And this is why everyone's stressed, they're overwhelmed, they're anxious, but also it's the physical impact on your body because everything gets stored. And if we don't free our feelings and emotions, then it just carries on growing in our bodies and then comes out in other ways.
Very true. I mean, it's the same with anything really. Why do people not? If you don't control your mind, then I mean, your mind controls everything. If you're not clear in your mind, then it affects your family life, it affects your business, it affects your income. Do you know what I mean? There's so much going on in the world as we speak, and just mental health at the moment it's just taking such a blow. And if people don't, it's the same with me with insurance. People, car, dog, pet, fridge, they don't actually think about themselves, and I think that's the worst thing, really. So for you, Julie, what do you think? What do you think people? Why do you think people are not doing it, or are not? What's your view? Why do you think people are just like, I'd rather do something else rather than invest?
Good question. A few things I would say. One is denial, right? Because if we carry on ignoring what's going on for us, right? So our body's talking to us all the time, sending us messages, right? But if we ignore them, then we can suppress them and then we can just be oblivious to it. So we can just pretend that everything's okay, right? So that's one of the reasons we're not actually being bold and brave and actually thinking about it. Now, I'm going to hold my hand up to this because that was me, right? When 35 years in the corporate world, second marriage, blended kids, usual stuff that people have in life, made redundant a few times, do you know what I mean? There's all these challenges in life, but what we don't always do is see these challenges as a positive. It's always like we're always keen to go to the negative, right? Oh, well, it's terrible, it happened to me, and da 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 da. And yeah, of course, some things are terrible, but sometimes it's taking what's happened to you and growing from it and making something new out of it. But what we're all good at is just ignoring and suppressing our feelings and emotions. So we go, I'm okay, there's nothing wrong with me. But then what they're actually doing is probably it's coming out in a different way, like perhaps in like an addiction, like smoking, drinking, drugs, or, you know, just complete denial of what's actually going on for themselves. So that's one reason, I think people just ignorant to themselves about what's going on. Another thing is money, right? I know we're in like cost of living crisis, but there is money out there. Money's an energy, and if we want something that badly and we want to work on ourselves, then we will find a way to do it. But the problem is a lot of it is guilt, because especially if you're, say for example, you're a mother and you've got kids, and maybe now, like if they're off in the school holidays or something, you've got to spend all your money going out and entertaining them. So to actually say, look, children, we're going to stay in all the summer holidays because mummy's working on herself. How well is that going to go?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's that whole, or it's like, let's go on a holiday. Let's spend £10,000 on a holiday, which probably will be amazing and probably will be great. But unfortunately, when you come home, you're going to, all that baggage catch up. You feel good for a couple of weeks, don't you?
Yeah.
Because you're on the high of the holiday. But then when you come back, it's all still there. So it's really about thinking about what you need and prioritizing. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do anything with your kids. I'm not saying that. But it's about looking at how you're spending your money, isn't it? And, you know, and I get many people don't have any spare money, and I get that. And then that's when you start off with your free stuff and things like that, just to get on the, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do any of it. It just means you just need to be more frugal about how you find ways of doing stuff, right? There's loads of stuff out there. But if you have got the money or potentially got the money, you need to look at what way can you use those resources more effectively. Because if you're a business owner, for example, then how's that impacting your business? Because if you keep yourself small and your mindset closed off, especially if you've got money mindset issues, you're not going to grow and scale your business.
Yeah,
and if you're in the corporate world like we were, right? I'm not suggesting everybody should get up and leave their jobs and go and be business owners. I'm not saying that. But if you haven't got the right mindset, maybe you're not going for that promotion that you probably should do because you're more than capable of doing it. Maybe you really need to get out of that job because it's just not good for you, but you haven't got the confidence to go and apply for something else or go for an interview, right? So
a lot of it's scarcity, isn't it? A lot of it's scarcity.
yeah,
What could happen, what might happen, what should happen, and they think
absolutely.
it's coming out of that box where you're like, this box is quite comfortable. It's quite safe. If I go out there, then things could get massively better, but things could get a little bit worse. Maybe I'll just stay here, dip my toe out. Do you know what I
mean? Maybe I'm not as good as I think I am.
I think that's it. I mean,
and I'll get sussed out. That was me.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, you can't see this, but I've got a garden office here with a gym. So, and all around it is like, believe you can, and you're halfway there. It's like got motivational stuff all around it, because when times are like this, you need to, or when times are hard or whatever, you need that stuff around you to remember. And I do honestly think if I didn't have it around me sometimes, like things on the wall, and I've got cards that say, like I've got these little cards that you pull out one a day and it gives you something motivational. If I didn't have this stuff around me, sometimes it would be very difficult. So if you think about it and you're a parent and you've got a child who's screaming that wants to go to the park, and you're like, you just want that child to stop screaming, and then it revolves, and before you know it, 1 month's gone, 2 months are gone, the holiday's gone, and then you're in September, and it's just, I
Mm.
think it's a lot of it's a mindset thing, which you can understand because people's mindsets are elsewhere at times, especially with what's going on.
Yeah, and I think it is difficult when you've got young children. I mean, mine have grown up now, so it's different. But especially if you've got more than one, it's difficult. But it's about when can you find, even if it's just 10, 15 minutes a day for yourself, right? Now, that might be just sitting, if it's a nice day, just take a cup of tea or something, sit in the garden and just be with yourself. You don't have to be doing anything. We always feel like we should be doing. That was definitely me. And this is one of the biggest things I've learned over the last few years is I always thought I could think my way out of everything. When something happens, well, how do I do that? What do I do? How can I fix that? But actually, what I've learned now is sometimes you don't even have to do that. You just have to take time out and be present and just to let your body do the answering for you, right? So if you've got a situation that you need to find an answer to, you could lay awake at night, can't you? Going, oh my God, like you say, like, what if I did that? Well, if I did that, maybe that would happen. Right. But actually, if you were in the habit of taking time out for yourself and being present, and by present means doing nothing, not even scrolling on your phone, just sitting there, listening to nature, just being at one with yourself, right? And you can ask yourself, right, what would be the best way of dealing with that particular situation? And you just sit with yourself, and you always know the answer. But it's taking that time to slow down and calm your mind down so that you give your body a chance to actually answer. And that's what most of us don't do.
It's really weird. I used to do that in my lunch hours when I worked in Canary Wharf in a bank. I should just sit there. I should go to the shopping centre, sit on a bench. There used to be these little benches or outside.
I used to work in Canary Wharf once.
Yeah. I used to sit there and I just used to do nothing. Eat my lunch, watch every busy person walk past, rushing. And it's weird. I used to do it then, but I do it less now. I don't know if it's because I used to think, oh, I've got another 6 hours to go or something like that. And it's just like, let's just take an hour out of everything. And I used to sit there and watch everyone just walk past and rush past and go.
People watching's fun, isn't it?
It is. And I used to find it a little bit therapeutic as well. I don't know if it's because I thought, oh, I've got another 6-7 hours to go. But it used to be like, let's just like calm down, just do nothing.
And how did that make you feel then when you felt like it was therapeutic? What was it doing for you or not doing for you?
I think it was just calming my mind down because obviously when you're working in banking or financial industry, you think figures. What have I got to do next? What's going on in the next hour? Blah, blah, blah. And it's funny, I do it now, kind of do it now. There's a park near where I live and I just sit on the bench. And it's weird because I don't know if it's going to sound weird. You might want to cut this, but
we don't edit, so think about what you say.
But I just sit there and I just look at dogs and children and just see that there's nothing. They haven't got a care in the world. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, and I appreciate why you're saying that. Yeah, you don't want them to think that you just watch children. Yeah. I get that, but do you know what? One of my trainings I did once, actually, one of my webinars, it was all about the power of your imagination, right? So the most powerful tool we have in our lives, and we've all got it, is our imagination. And a fun fact is that our mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what's imagined, right? Now, to your point, and we do caveat, this isn't about watching children for any other reason than just watch them play, right? Whether they're your own kids, other people's kids, right? Just watch them in their moment when they're at their pretend tea party or playing with their dolls or their acting and stuff like that, And I always use the example of, at Christmas with kids, right? How many parents out there have gone and spent a fortune on this wonderful present and they play in the box?
Yeah. The box. I thought you this £50 present, this £100 present, like cardboard box, and you're inside the box and you're playing like it's a house.
rockets or something.
Yeah.
You know, give them a sheet and throw it over the bunk bed or something. We used to do that when we were kids. Like we used to have bunk bed, and we'd have the lid off the washing basket was the steering wheel, and then we'd have sheets or towels or whatever hanging down the bottom. So you'd get it's like a little tent. You know, you used to play for hours and hours like that.
It's weird.
But when you're a child, you actually are encouraged to stop doing that, right? Because when you're at school, that's called daydreaming.
Yeah.
Right? Come on, Chris, stop daydreaming. We got work.
Yeah.
But you could have been off in a magical mystery place, right? Having the time of your life in your head, and then you're brought back to reality. Now, I know we can't daydream all the time, but that's what being present is, right? That's when you start thinking about who are you? What do you want to be doing? You visualize yourself on that safari holiday or the Maldives or Disneyland or wherever it is that rocks your boat, right? And you see yourself there, you're visualizing it. And that's the power of hypnosis. That's the power of the, reaching out to the universe and putting it all out there, raising your vibration. But when you're not present, you can't do any of that.
You like that creativity, and the creativity is not there when you're not.
And the same when you're at work, right? Whether it's corporate work, whether it's business. When we get, we know we've both been caught up in this. We know this, where we're just too busy working in it, right, and not looking out
of it,
right. Then you can't see the wood for the trees. Now, I've done that in so much, like I said, I've got 35 years working in the corporate world. I know all about this. The last 10, I was a project manager, and I had multiple projects on all the time. I was used to spinning plates. I'm not saying I particularly did it well, but I was used to spinning plates. Right? And you'd have your pack of paper and you go, right, I'm just going off to a meeting now. You get in there and you're like, what's this one for? Right, you come back, stick your paperwork. Right, calendar. Right, I've got to go to another one now. Let me just go and get, and then be like that all day. And then you've got to come back and try and remember write your notes up. And, it's just, But then once you've done that, you've got to try and solve the problem. What problem do I need to solve in this project? What is it I need to do? I need more staff, or, but your head's so all the time. It's really difficult, right? But in that environment, even if you took yourself out for a cigarette break and just went and thought about, okay, I've just come out of that meeting. What's really going on here? And just take time to think about it. Done. And this is why, I don't know if you've done this, I used to miss my lunch a lot because I was too busy.
Yeah, I did.
Right? And what happens is by about 3 o'clock, you're like really tired, or if you actually took your lunch and not felt guilty about taking your lunch. When I did take lunches, I did used to go to the gym, to be fair, because that was the time that I went. But even then, sometimes I haven't got time to go to my aerobics class. And then I'd be annoyed with myself for the next 3 hours. Like, why didn't I go? And then by 3 o'clock or whatever, you're like comatose in your chair. So actually, you do need to take that time out, even if it is like half an hour, 20 minutes. Go for a walk. Just go into another room. Change your state. Change what you're doing right now. And then you'll be more productive when you come back.
It's all about changing your state. You definitely change your state. Or the other alternative was to eat at your desk, which is as good as not having a lunch anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me just eat at my desk and
I'll just check my emails while I'm doing it. Yeah.
And you're like, well, I might as well just not had a lunch, to be fair. But no, it's the state. You need to change your state. A lot of speakers, a lot of professional or high earning people talk about change of state, and what you do obviously helps people to change their state. But people don't realize they need to change their state until they've changed their state, do they?
Yeah. And funny enough, like this week, I was just recording some training in my portal, and it's exactly about this. It's about the power of the power pose as well. Like, you'll see images of like Superman and Wonder Woman, and they're like
chest out,
shoulders back, chest out, and all that, right? But there's a YouTube talk by a lady called Amy Cuddy, and it's all about the power pose, and it's been scientifically proven as well that if you get yourself within a power pose for 2 minutes, it can completely change the way your mind is working, and the chemical, your testosterone and cortisone levels.
Is that any time of the day, or is it special? Like special?
No, anytime. They did an experiment. I think they took blood tests. Yeah, I think they took blood tests at the beginning, and then they done blood tests like once they'd done the parapose. But they had different people doing different things, and they saw what worked and what didn't. And you could actually reduce your stress levels, so reducing your cortisol levels, but raise your testosterone. And your testosterone's where you get all your confidence, and so just literally by changing your state and getting into a real good power pose for 2 minutes, you can make that change happen.
Okay, I have to look that up. I think,
and it's scientifically proven. I can send you a link if you want afterwards. But that's the point, right? You can do all this stuff, but if you don't know you can do all this stuff, then you're not going to be doing it. And also knowing it and doing it are not the same thing either. We can all go, oh, I know that. I know I
as well.
But if you're doing it, then I know I should take time out for myself. Well, you're doing it then. Well, I get this a lot of my clients. We'll have a really, really good session, and then they'll go off for a little bit, and then they come back and I go, oh, what's going on? Oh, just this. Oh, okay. So are you doing the breathing that we talked about? No. Are you doing the Raza rule that I taught you? No. Are you taking time out? No. And then I go, that's why, isn't it? Yes. You're just play acting at it, and you're not doing it. I don't even have to say anything. They just look, they go.
The breathing is very important, actually. Breathing.
Yeah.
I don't do it as often as I should, but as soon as I've done it, I'm like, yes, I should be doing that daily. Just come out and just. I've got an app, which is not my personal app. I've got an app I use, which is actually free for a year, and I'll give you the name of it if you want to pass on to your clients. And it's just, you set it to go off at a certain time of day. Mine's 8 o'clock. And it's just 8 minutes, and you just do the breathing, and it's free to be fair. So, and that's my, at least as soon as I get up, it's bang, it's done.
Yeah, but it's not a one time. It's good to do that in the morning, because that's all about setting. Because you can do that with setting your attention, do your breathing, do your meditation, right, and raise your vibration. Because one of the other things I've been teaching my clients recently is all about the vagus nerve, which is this massive nerve, which you'll probably know about, that goes all the way down your back, right? Yeah. It's our biggest nerve that we have, but we need to keep it healthy, right? And we keep it healthy by raising our vibration, by doing chanting, doing singing, doing yoga, doing things that kind of are stimulating that nerve. And then if we look after our nerve or our nerves, then they look after us, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And there's so much knowledge out there, which is why my group program, I'm so super proud of it, because I'm covering 3 main problems. The first one is about getting people from it goes from self-neglect to self-respect. So I teach them all about the power of the mind, how it works, the imagination, fear, and all that. And then we look at time, being too busy. So there's loads of time tips and stuff in there. There's goal setting in there. There's all sorts of stuff. And then we've got about poor health to health reboot. So it's about how it's all linked throughout the whole program, how it impacts your physical body. But it isn't like any other program, because it's not just me talking to you in the portal. We've got actual deep dive hypnosis in there, and we've got audios in there, and we've got workbooks in there. We've got embodiment techniques, so you can free yourself from these trap. It's got so much in it, and that's why it's so powerful, because we are actually making subconscious changes. We're not just talking about it; we're actually physically doing it.
Just quickly, have you thought about doing this for corporates?
I would like to get into corporates, yes. I would. Yeah.
You've got that background of corporates, and it could be obviously help businesses on a larger scale, really, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's definitely but like you say, right? I've got 35 years of knowledge of what it's like to be in that environment, And I've got all this knowledge now of how I can help people to manage it. And that's absolutely, I want to do talks. I want to go into companies. So if anyone's out there who would love to have me there, thank you for mentioning that, Chris. That's really good. I'd love to, because I feel like I could really make a difference because I know both sides.
Yeah.
You know, and you can help them to be so more productive.
I mean, it's quite similar for me. I do obviously health insurance for individuals, but on a larger scale, I'd like to do it for corporates because of what comes with insurance, of the health. It's all about mental. I think the background for us both really is because we've both got the corporate side and now we've both got the health and wellness side. I think we both understand how important it is to get both attributes that we've got into a larger scale of people to help those larger scales of people in the corporate world deal with being in the corporate world and the stresses that come with it, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just think when people can resonate with you when they know that you know, because there's nothing more annoying than someone telling you something and you're like, well, if you, so for example, if someone's teaching you business and you go, well, have you ever had a business? No. Well, why are you telling me about business then?
Yeah, it's true.
I want someone who's been in a business, has got that experience to tell me the highs and lows of running a business. The same when I don't want a bloke telling me about the symptoms of the menopause. Have you suffered them then? I'm not
Is that personal question?
no. But that said, I'm going to backtrack a little bit on that actually, because I'm being a bit facetious, because sometimes you don't have to have been in it, right? I help clients that suffer from all sorts of psychological, physical conditions. I haven't suffered from all of those.
Yeah,
so
true.
I can still help them. So I am being a bit facetious, but you know, you get the gist, right? So my point being, I want to attract clients that resonate with me and I resonate with them, right? So when I'm talking to them, I can say, look, Chris, I get it. That was me. I couldn't do it, but now I can. Would you like me to share how I did that? You can do what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? And it's much more authentic and believable, isn't it, really? Rather than pretend. And that's where I struggled in the corporate world, I think, a lot, was that I didn't really enjoy what I was doing. I didn't really believe in it. I didn't understand a lot of it. And it was like, I just wasn't interested.
I think similar to me. I did it for the money.
Same.
And to follow a path, a path of my mates did it, college, went to banking in London. My mum did it actually as well, but then became a business owner. So I've actually followed her path exactly, to be fair, without noticing it. And to be fair, when I was younger, I didn't realise I was a bit of an entrepreneur when I was younger. We were one of the very few people to have Sky TV. So I used to go in, and people used to get me to record stuff for them, and I used to get extra dinner money and sweets. I did. I was like pimping out our Sky to kids at school.
Oh, brilliant! I love that. I love that. That's really cool. But anyway, darling, as much as I could carry on talking to you for hours, and we probably will when we hang up this, but I need to wrap this up now. So just, do you want to just give a shout out really for your business again and how people can find you? And obviously I'll tag you in what I can tag you in, but just go for it.
Yeah, so I've got a YouTube channel, I've got a Instagram channel, and I've got a TikTok. Some I use more than others, but yeah, the Fit 2020 is the name on all of them. So if you want to find me on there, I can help you out. And obviously, I think I'm just Chris Lampett on LinkedIn. Lovely.
And my good self, I'm pretty much Millieside Therapy and Coaching everywhere, apart from Instagram, which is Julie Millieside. But I've also have a YouTube channel, and I've recently got TikTok as well. I think that's Millieside. I can't remember now. I need to set it up for me. She wants me to do it one day. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. So you can find me on all those sites, and this video will also go up on my YouTube channel as well, where you'll find all my other interviews and all my client videos and client testimonial interviews as well. So if you're interested in finding out more from either of us, then either put something in a comment or message either of us. Do what you need to do to get hold of us, and we look forward to hearing from you. And I look forward to seeing you in my next amazing interview. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much, Chris, and take care, everyone.
Thank you for having me, Julie.
You're welcome. See you later.
Bye.